you by British University Vietnam.
Welcome to another episode of IFO Nightly Show. This episode, I want you to join me in this street in District 1. This street used to be famous for all of its CD stores, but as you can see, there's only one CD store left on the streets. There's been a lot of change in the career market, leading to a lot of businesses closing down. However, a lot of new businesses opened up and a lot of business positions too. So this episode, I want you to join me and Phoenix Hall in discovering all the exciting changes in the job market. Let's go.
Student life.
Give it up for our brand new expert, Phoenix Hall. Phoenix Hall, she is a dedicated expert in education. She has had over 16 years of experience in such fields as counseling, career counseling, and career guidance education. During her career, Miss Phoenix works with people from all walks of life at different ages. Especially, she feels most connected with parental groups who share the same concerns over kids and kids' development as she does. She is looking forward to being on IFO as she would have a chance to talk more with young generations and simultaneously assist them to fully develop and make great strides. Welcome expert Phoenix Hall to IFO Nightly Show Season 8 Student Edition.
Welcome back to another episode of IFO Nightly Show Season 8. And as you remember, last week I got to meet with one of my longtime idols, Miss Phoenix Hall. And as I promised, this week we brought her to our studio and I am so excited to meet you offline.
I am too. Hello everyone. It is my honor to be here with you all and Thảo Tâm offline. Thank you so much for having me here and hello and welcome.
Are you as excited and as out of place as I am right now? Because I genuinely don't remember what it was like to visit a studio before the pandemic. So I felt a very jarring shift when I had to go from my bedroom to the studio.
Yeah, I shared with my colleague earlier. She was taking me from my apartment to here and I was sharing with her, oh, I'm so not used to picking my shoes. I'm so not used to preparing for everything beside my top and my hair. And then the sunshine and we like, oh my God, it's so hot and it's so beautiful to be out. Yes, I'm very happy and excited that we can meet offline and interact like this again.
Yeah, I totally agree because last week, I think last season, I mentioned that the entire last season, I think I filmed with my pajama pants on. So choosing everything and like assembling myself for the shoot was very difficult. But alas, here we all are, and today we get to explore the exciting world of career development together here in person.
Yes.
So for this episode, aside from Key Phoenix, I have 3 very special guests that are joining us online. Yes. And they are 3 students embarking on this new and strange world of career development. And we are going to hear from them. Yes. And I'll let them introduce themselves. Sure. Please take it away. First off, I would like to introduce everybody to Dđạt.
I'm Dung. I'm from the University of Languages and International Studies of Vietnam National University. I'm also an English teacher to be in the IOE English Center. So I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Dđạt.
And next, can we hear from Thuy?
Hi IFO, my name is Thuy and I'm from Hanoi. I'm a Bachelor of Multimedia and Communication at Academy of Journalism and Communication. And now I am working as a content creator and a scriptwriter. I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you, Thuy. And next, let's hear from Duy Đăng.
Hello, IFO. My name is Duy Đăng. I'm currently a high school student and I'm from LêN NGØI High School in Hanoi too. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Duy Đăng. And last but absolutely not least, we have Yến Nhi.
Hi everyone, I'm Nhi. I'm from Hanoi and I'm a student at IELTS High School for gifted students. Nice to meet you all.
All right, and there we have it, 4 very lovely guests that are gonna join us for this career talk today. And as I can see, Phoenix has already prepared a notepad, and on behalf of IFO, we have already sent out a list of questions for our guests to prepare to talk about their career experiences. So I'm going to gesture to each of our guests and let them tell us a little bit about their story venturing into the business world. So first off, I would like to hear from Quốc Dũng.
Hey everyone, I'm Dung. So as I will introduce myself, I'm currently an English teacher to be in IOB English Center. So I've been in the job market for at least 6 months now. And to sum up my whole experience in the job market, I would say it's pretty challenging, but it's very worthwhile because I've learned so much in the job market, especially in terms of the teaching and education field. So yeah, that is what I can share about my own feeling in terms of my own education system, education journey.
So what positions did you work at as somebody who worked in the education field in English? So did you actively teach students or did you prepare the curriculums?
Well, to be honest, actually both. I can't say I'm pretty novice because I only started for like 6 months now. But my boss referred me a lot of jobs in terms of teaching as well. And behind job teaching, I still had to prepare so much curriculums for all beginners and all levels of the students. So I would say it's pretty stressful for seniors in college, university like me, but it's still worthwhile.
Oh, he's a senior, so I'm currently a freshman, so Dũng is a year ahead of me on the academic route, but he's already handling his job so well. So congratulations, Dũng, for once again surviving the pandemic and a new career. So next up is Thuy. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences in working?
Hi guys, I'm Thuy and I have just graduated my university, so I don't have many experience in the job, but I have a wonderful time when I become an internship at the agency. So that is really interesting work for me, and I work as a script writer for a YouTube channel.
So next up is Duy. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences?
I had to stay at home and study online all my days. Many people think staying home is really tedious, but in my opinion, I think it's an interesting experience for me to learn many skill.
Okay, last but not least, once again, we will have the story of Nhi.
I'm only 15 years old and I just entered the 10th grade, a new school, so I don't have any work experience. But I participated in some projects and clubs at school. And that helped me a lot in gaining more knowledge outside of school and getting to know many talented people.
So I absolutely love it when we have some of our younger viewers on the show, because 10th grade is, if I'm not wrong, 14, 15 years old?
No, 16. 15 to 16. Yeah.
Right. And that is a very young age to start like thinking about the career market, do you think?
No, it's not young.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We advise that students should start thinking about it starting in grade 6, so about 11 to 12 years old. So for Nhi to be here is really good for her, and I'm very excited that she is a part of the show. Yeah. Thank you, Nhi.
So a very young representative and 4 very different stories. But I'm also very curious to hear where these stories overlap and how they are represented in actual cases in the job market.
Well, if you think about it from my perspective as a career practitioner, when I listened to Nhi, what I heard from Nhi is her excitement and readiness to explore the world of work. Nhi said, I really enjoy the activities in the classroom, but I also want to experience more. So there's a common thread among Nhi, Duy, Thuy, and Quốc Dũng about their excitement of connecting between what they study in school to the future jobs, the world of future jobs, right? And so that is one common thread. And that is very good news for people like parents or practitioners like me because they are active, right? Yến Nhi, Duy Đăng, Diệu Thúy and Quốc Dũng, all of you are very, very active and thinking about where do I go next, right? The difference is really in terms of experience because Quốc Dũng say, okay, I learned that and now I'm ready to be a teacher. And it's very interesting, Quốc Dũng says, my boss gave me a lot of work. I'm surprised, I'm under a lot of pressure to perform. And not only teaching, but also designing curriculum. That's a lot of job for a senior in college, Quốc Dũng. And thank you, and for trying and performing, you're doing a very good job. Diệu Thúy, in another story, is very interesting of how she threw herself into a world of very different environment, right? Thúy, you didn't expect that agency would be that hard work because I know how hard agency is. You work more than 12 hours a day. You have a lot of, right? Are you nodding your head? You have a lot of tasks to do. You sleep less, you work more. Yeah. And Thúy, really congratulations for surviving the internship because it seems like you did a very good job of staying in there and working and I would say navigating your way through the experience. So that's really good job. What I would say is Duy Đăng and Yến Nhi would learn so much from anh Quốc Dũng and chị Diệu Thúy. Because now Duy Đăng and Yến Nhi would ask themselves, okay, so in the future, after my training, what would it look like? How would I step or navigate or throw myself into the internship or the first job, and what will I do during that time? So I think if you think about it, there's not analysis of right or wrong, but it's really the willingness to learn and grow, and also the ability to adapt. I think of all of the story between Quốc Dũng and Diệu Thúy is all about adaptation. And Duy Đăng now is asking himself, okay, how do I adapt myself in the future when I'm done with my uni? And then Yến Nhi the same, yeah? So that would be my sharing from my perspective.
One of the things that IFO Nightly Show always takes pride in is how brave and bold our young guns are, because our audiences are very young people, but that does not hold them back from being super bold. And once again, thank you so much for joining us here today at the studio. And I really hope that chị Phoenix and I can meet you guys offline in another occasion with IFO Nightly Show. Once again, thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and we are still here with you, Phoenix, and I am so excited because I'm about to learn something. As you know, I love learning, and as I can see, there's a board over there full of things that I do not understand just yet. So please go ahead and explain it to me.
And Thảo Tâm helped me by asking questions because, you know, there are times when I say and I assume that people understand. I'm leaving the jobs that Diệu Thúy and Quốc Dũng and Duy Đăng and Yến Nhi just talked about earlier, to demonstrate. But I want to share with everyone in the show about this map. We call it the World of Work map. And when you look at the World of Work map, the first thing that I want you to pay attention is the arrows. This one go up for data, go down for ideas, go to the left for people, go to the right for things. Meaning there will be occupations that work mainly with things, or occupations that work mainly with people, occupations that work mainly with data, and occupations that work mainly with ideas. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes. And now if you think about, for an example, creator, a content creator, right? Content creator would be somewhere over here because the content creator first work with ideas, and then they work with people to know how the ideas are implemented, right? And then they would use computers to execute the ideas. And then they would look at the data to write up their content. Right? And now I would like to go into, Thảo Tâm earlier say your map looked like a pizza. Yeah, we can think about a pizza with 6 areas, 6 slices, right?
6 flavors.
Yeah, 6 flavors. So the first one is administration and sales. In this area are the occupations or careers that belong to administration and sales. So example would be management, marketing and sales, employment-related services like HR and regulation and protection, right? The next area would be business operation. We have financial transactions, communications and records, distribution and dispatching. The next one would be technical, and there are a lot of clusters inside the technical. Would be construction and maintenance, transport operation, mechanical and stuff, right? That would be the number 3 areas that we are talking about. The number 4 is science and technology. So here in science and technology, we have to be very careful here, Thảo Tâm and everyone, because here we talk about medical technology, engineering, natural sciences. Actually, medical diagnosis and treatment, doctor is one of them, and social sciences should belong to science and technology. So why are these clusters moved to the left? Can you guess?
I would venture to say that because they're more, they're deeply related to working with people.
You are so highly smart, intelligent girl. I didn't tell Thảo Tâm ahead of time. Yes, these are the work that belong to science and technology, but they are moved to the left because they work a lot with people. So the creator of the World of Work map want us, practitioners or users, end user like students and parents, to remember, yes, even if you choose to be a doctor, humanities scientist, then you should remember that all your work in science and technology are actually working a lot with people. Yeah, so that's why they are moved over here. The next one is arts. Everyone in this studio are in this field. We have applied arts, written and spoken, what you're doing. Creative and performing arts, you are also doing that. Applied arts, visual, here we have ANH-TIliwong and Thắng, you know, everyone here is really into this area. And so that is arts. And then we go to social service. Yeah, social service have education, healthcare, community services, and personal services. Yeah, and so if we look at the World of Work map, and we can see there are 26 career clusters. Because the research is in the US, so it goes from A, B, C to the last letter of Z, right? Personal services. What is very interesting is the map was created in 1960s, right? But now in 2021, with many careers appearing, the map is still true.
I wonder if there is any job that is comprised of 2 opposing dimensions. For example, a job that requires people and think skills.
Yes, I love that question. If you think about applied arts, right? And you think about graphic designer, right? Graphic designer, they work with ideas a lot, right? But they also have to work with data. So the creator of the World of Work map would go to a graphic designer and tell them, hey, I need you to draw this map for us. So the World of Work map is very particular, very detailed, and it has to be exactly location. So a graphic designer work with ideas. How do I make it beautiful? But also in this case, they have to make sure the data is correct. So graphic designer is one very good example of the 2 opposite poles of ideas and data. So if you come and visit a friend who works in graphic designing, they are so perfectionist. If they design a logo or a title of a book or a book cover, and one thing is out of place,
Yep.
they would trash everything and start everything from scratch. So that is one good example of how work can be opposite. So one career cluster cannot be only in one dimension or in one area. It has to be a combination of many. Yeah, that's why we have to do episode 1 on self-understanding.
Yep.
Because if we don't understand ourselves and the strengths and weaknesses, then we would go and jump into career that is very different from us. Yeah.
So thank you so much for explaining this to me, because I've never looked at career, the job market this way before, because I've always thought each cluster would align itself to one specific adjective, one specific category. But apparently it's a multidimensional sphere, and it's so interesting. And thank you for sharing this with me. I have something to share with you. And please take your seat.
Sure.
So IFO Nightly Show has prepared for me 2 baskets full of paper, and each piece of paper contains a job description. And I will leave it up to Phoenix to decide which basket contains jobs that are declining in demand and which contain jobs that are increasing in demand.
Okay.
Okay? So
I will pick out one name.
yes.
And I will read it. All right. Electronics and telecoms installers and repairers. Electronics and telecoms installers and repairers definitely will be decreasing.
Oh. And why is that?
If you think about it, in the old days, and nowadays still, we have people who have to go to the electronic poles or go to home to repair some electricity problem or telecoms problem. But soon, the world of work in their research says that the job will be diminishing. One day, it will be replaced by machines.
Right, and I guess we only need to take one slip of paper from this basket to confirm all of our suspicions.
Yes.
I'm going to take the one on top, and it says Big Data Specialists.
Yeah. Everybody is talking about big data. Everybody is talking about it. There's a saying in the market that data is the new currency, the new oil. So how oil was treated in the past and now, that means data will be treated from now on. It's very important, it's essential to the world. And so there will be specialists who knows how to work with big data. Ask me, I don't know anything about big data. I got lecture, I learned, I read, and still I don't understand. I know the words and I know it is, where it is on the map, but it's a very, very new area for many of us.
So I believe, like myself, a lot of young students are very concerned because they don't truly understand the job market, and they are kind of manipulated by certain stereotypes when considering those different jobs. And I am going to show you guys a little montage of university students speaking about their perception of the job market as of current.
Sure.
From my perspective, if I were to choose, I would not offer a job that is off the range for its multiple insecurities. Since it is short-lived, basing your future career on it is unstable, as the job often only exists as long as the trend. Unfortunately, I can see nowadays many people blindly fall into the trap of trend-oriented occupations, which often oversaturates the market, making other related jobs even more difficult to attain. It goes without saying that if people want to land a job because it's a fad, they lack the ability to take a step back and think about the bigger picture, putting them into a reactive position instead of a proactive one.
And my answer is, it depends, because the occupation that we choose will take up most, if not all, of our youth. So I'd rather it be something that I enjoy doing. Second, money isn't really a problem for me, and happiness always comes first. Thus, the job that I will choose will be based mostly on my happiness and my enjoyment.
And we're currently connected to our studio in Hanoi. We have an audience member that volunteered to become an MC for the day. So she is really putting herself out there and, you know, like the bravery of our previous guest, she is throwing herself into the real, very palpable position of being an MC. Let's take a look at her experience.
Ta đều sinh ra với những số phận khác nhau, những cánh em muốn vươn mình trước trời gió đầy khát khao. Và chẳng cần cậu phải nói một lời nào, mình vẫn cảm nhận được một trái tim đầy hoài bão, háo hức và nôn nao. Ignite your passion to light the way. Và thành công đã nắm chặt trong tay. Ignite your passion to fly away. Mình cùng nhau xây thế giới ngày mai. Come and ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
Hi, Chief Phoenix. Hi, Thảo Tâm. Thank you so much for taking us to the world of work map. And I think what we have learned is that the employment landscape is constantly shifting. And Viva Student Life's mission is to bring you all the information and experience needed to equip you on your career journey. And today I have a guest who is Tu Anh. Hi, Tu Anh. So I would love to give the spotlight to Tu Anh, and may you introduce yourself to the audiences?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, IELTS Face-Off. My name is Tu Anh. I'm a recent law graduate from the United Kingdom, and I'm here today to experience one day of being a reporter.
Oh, wow. Law graduate student, but aspire to become a news reporter. Why?
Because I was taken abroad a little bit too early in my life, so learning Vietnamese culture is a very important part in my life, so that's why I want to become a reporter to bring Vietnamese culture to the world.
So our mission is to meet your demand, and we will let you to experience the positions of a news anchor at BTV. So are you ready? Nervous? Excited?
A little bit nervous, but I guess I'm really looking forward to.
All right, so let's go.
Cảm ơn quý vị đã quan tâm theo dõi. Xin kính chào và hẹn gặp lại.
Hey Nga. Hi. Wow, it's so great to see you just finish your news reporting at Chuyển động V24. And we're filming IFO Viva Student Life. And Tu Anh is the guest of the show today. And she's also aspire to become a news presenter just like you. So I bet that Tu Anh will have a lot of questions for Nga, right?
Yeah. Do you have any tips for an aspiring news reporter?
So every day I have to wake up quite soon and then get ready for my makeup and hair and everything, my appearance. And then I have to go to my office to edit the script, like for the official script that I am going to use. And then I have to be ready at the studio like maybe 15 minutes in advance. Yeah, so every day like that.
So I bet that during your time of being a TV presenter, you definitely have encountered accidents. So is there any unforgettable accident during a live show or during shooting? And how did you handle that?
So my unforgettable accident was 1 year ago when I was new to the show. When I was on air, suddenly I stumbled on words, and then at that time I also often skipped my meals. So like I felt like lost all of my energy and my confidence, and I felt like I was going to faint. But luckily, I remembered the script of that news, so I kept trying to finish it. After that, the crew had to cut the show immediately. So my advice for you, maybe, is to never skip your meal before being on air, and stay healthy as much as possible.
Great tips to take, right?
Yeah.
Never skip meal and also learn your script well. So I think I will let Nga to give out the task to Tuan. So can you give the task to Tuan?
So I think your task today will be present a news story about COVID-19.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Hello everyone, my name is Tuan. I am the news reporter for Chuyển, động, Thu Dương. Vietnam on Sunday recorded 16,000 COVID cases, with Hanoi having the highest COVID cases since the pandemic exploded. So the capital city recorded 1,400 cases, and followed by Cà Mau with 1,100 cases, and after that is Ho Chi Minh City with 1,000 cases. And I'm Tuan, the presenter of Chuyển, động, Thu Dương. Thank you.
Congratulations on completing your task. I think you did a very good job. And I'm sure that Phoenix from Saigon will throw you a bunch of questions. So Phoenix, any question for Tuan?
So, what a trip, right? To be able to visit VTV 24 and also to work as a position as not only an MC, but a journalistic MC. That's gotta be quite a challenge for her.
I am curious. I would like to ask our guest this question. What was her expectation before the day and after the day? Does she still want to be in the field after one day of experiencing the field with, you know, seeing the pressure of working in the media, fast pace with a lot of chaos, things that you have to be spontaneous and adapting to change all the time, like our producer of BTV Quỳnh here, right? So I am amazed, and I really want to know her feeling and her thinking at the end of the day. Do you still like this field?
To be honest, I was really nervous because before coming here, I had no expectation at all. But I was really amazed by how professionally the crew worked. And after experiencing everything, I think that I'm still very interested in joining this field because I'm still very interested in bringing Vietnamese culture to the world and keeping myself updated every day with amazing news that is happening right around us.
I hope that you will always keep that fire in you. And that is a career experience day for Tuan. So back to Thảo Tâm and Phoenix.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's beautiful. I met stories like this a lot. If you think about a young person wanting to appear in public, on TV, like you, that is interest, career interest. But actually to be working in the field, you need a talent. You need the skills of reading a lot and synthesizing all of your reading into, and being able to express through spoken words, right? And then through writing to written words. And also you need to work with people who are very different from you, who maybe don't want to talk, who are appear to be not very friendly because they work with machines all day long, right? You work in teams with different people who maybe you meet for the first time, and that is the skills, right? From interest into talent, into skills is a long journey of grit, the word that you used earlier, Thảo Tâm. So, yeah, I think the more experience, the better for young people.
That is very true. Thank you so much for your summary and also synthesis. And you guys, that is a wonderful journey that we just got to witness. But up next is another friend of ours that is going to put himself on the spot, embracing the challenge of presenting to the crowd. Stay tuned for our Voice of the Week.
Next on IFO Nightly Show.
And it's your long-awaited segment. It is IFO Voice of the Week. Welcome back to IFO Nightly Show, and it's your long-awaited segment. It is IFO Voice of the Week, and we've done so many Voice of the Week online. I can't remember the last time we did one offline, actually. So I am so excited to welcome to our studio our Voice of the Week live. His name is Quang. Yay!
Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Thảo Tâm.
Hi, Quang. I am so honored to meet with you today.
Me too.
So can you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience?
My name is Quang, and I'm a freshman at Host Thu Dương University, majoring in marketing.
Oh, marketing. So have you followed the show for long?
Yes, I followed the show from the first season.
Really? Wow,
I'm a big fan.
That's a very long journey then. Were you in 9th grade when you first started watching the show?
I think so.
Oh, wow. So we're very honored to have you here. And without further ado, I think Phoenix has your Voice of the Week question.
I'm so ready.
My question for you, Quang, is what is more important, pursuing your dream job or doing what you're very good at?
Wow. I think that's a tough one. Thank you for your question. I think I'm gonna break it into two parts. First, what if people choose to pursue their dream job, but they're not good at it? I think they might win growth, they might win motivation, they might win passion. Because I think pursuing something you love is challenging, yet so worth it, right? However, people might lose too. They can lose money, they can lose their free time, and they can turn their passion into pressure someday. Because I think obtaining for something called a dream may not guarantee any money and health, right? But is it better if people choose the opposite way? Because people are good at what they're doing, they can win money, they can win respect, obviously. People love them, people love what they're doing, but they don't love their job. So they might feel lost sometimes, and even more dramatic, they feel like they're working for money, not for themselves. I think it's a hard question and there's no right or wrong, but I think it's almost like choosing a shoe size. I mean, it's not about what people are wearing, it's all about what fits us. For me, I have my own answer to this question. I think both of them are important because I want to work hard and happily. I want to make money and friends. I want to inspire people and be inspired. Yeah, so the next time this question is raised, I think people should ask themselves, what is my goal? What makes me happy? Yeah, or can I take risk? Can I take responsibility for my decision? Like that. So to sum up, I think it's a matter of choice, and each of us may have our own shoe size. Thank you.
Wow, that was so eloquently put. Thank you, Quang. That
Thank you, Quang. We can't trick you, right? Because if Quang, if you think about this, if the question was asked was thrown to a marketing student who was born in 1970s, like me and the producer of the show, or the 1980s, they would give a very different answer. Your answer is so typical of people of this generation of I want both. I want happiness and I want success. I want the result and I want the feeling that come along, right? Thảo Tâm, you've seen young people nowadays, they don't say, I don't need to choose either or. I want both, but it has to really fit me. So I am very impressed by your answer, Quang, and the maturity that comes with it. And thank you so much, because when I listen to you, I have a lot of hope for this generation of they will not be easily manipulated or influenced by anyone. They will pick what works best for them. So thank you so much for giving me that hope.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for your participation, and I personally believe that was one of the best Voice of the Week performances we've had on the show. And I hope to see you again as Voice of the Year. And don't forget, our Voice of the Year winner will win themselves a trip to the UK valued at 100 million VND. Are you excited?
I'm so excited to hear that.
Yes, and I think you've turned in a very, very, very worthy application. So I hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Phoenix.
Have a good day.
Feeding student life.
Ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
The episode is coming to a close, and I am very sad because I simply don't want to see Phoenix go, because simply we can't get enough of Phoenix Ho. However, thankfully, you have prepared a lot of website links and also a lot of material here in my hand, so that we can close the episode and go to see more of you and more of the career world. So can you walk us through the episode, the websites?
Yes, thank you, Thảo Tâm. I really want everybody to use the resources that I prepared for IFO. The first two links are from Hướng, nghiệp, and it links directly to the World of Work map that I presented earlier, because I think in a few minutes I really I couldn't do a job of summarizing everything and explaining everything. And so I would like the young people who are curious about the World of Work map can read and learn on their own. The following links are the career resources from different countries. Number one is from Australia, myfuture.edu.au. The second one is New Zealand, and the third one is from the USA. And all links are very beneficial and easy to follow for everyone who are willing to self-learn and self-direct themselves. These two books, Thảo Tâm, I think your mom would love this book. This one is for parents who would like to know how to accompany their children in the career path. It's really not teaching the parents how to do it, but it's really to introducing a different perspective of how parents can go alongside with children, because like I say, no one will know the future, right? So parents are very important factors in empowering and being with their children in this journey. This one is a very cute book about the self-understanding through the different Holland characteristics. He calls it the vocational personalities, where you understand more about yourself, and from there you link to the world of work. And it's free online, and is illustrated by Xuân Ngọc. And so IFO audience can go online and read it for free, or you can buy the book any way you want, because we want the resources to be available in different formats so people can use it. And yeah, that's all. And there's a lot for audience to learn and know more about the world of work, career work. Yeah.
You guys, I just took a peek into this book, and the illustration is so cute.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm very looking forward to checking this out more online, and I'm very glad that all of the resources are all very readily available.
Yes.
So as you remembered in the first episode of our IFO expert, we discussed understanding ourselves. And within this episode, we discussed understanding the job market and understanding the concepts that control and predict these job markets. And thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of IFO Expert. And like you said, yes, employability is a big buzzword that's been passed around, but understanding the essence behind the word and understanding the essence of the creation of that term, it's vital. It's vital for the young ones like myself. So thank you for joining me for another episode, and I am looking forward to meeting you again very soon.
All right, my pleasure.
And our dear viewers, we will see you again very soon for our IFO Nightly Show Season 8 Viva Student Life.
So I still tried my best, and then kept working, and then how to say? Nghĩ lại nhá.
Since the pandemic Thế. Tức là cứ mỗi lần thế nói lại từ đầu đúng không ạ? Dạ.